Before we start, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Only 2% are subscribed. At 1,000 subscribers, I'll be posting a special video. Mia kisses me before I can check if anyone is watching. Her mouth is on mine, her hand already hooked under my jaw. My brain stutters, my heartbeat spikes, and I kiss her back anyway. I am Jake, 25 and apparently stupid in public. She pulls away just enough to grin across the tiny table. Her fingers stay on my face and drag slowly down my neck. I hear my own voice come out higher than normal and shaky. If my sister walks in, I am literally done, I mumble. Mia laughs once low and fast, then squeezes my hand instead. She is at trivia night, she says, like that solves everything instantly. You check the group chat, remember, she posted the scoreboard thing. I nod, but my stomach still tightens like it knows something different. I lace my fingers with hers under the table and hold tight. If you have ever held someone like that, you know. That grip where it feels like you are doing something illegal together. I tell myself we are invisible in this corner and keep holding. Stop overthinking, Mia says, flipping my wrist so she can doodle. Her thumb traces a slow, messy heart into my skin like a teenager. You wanted this date, you got this date, now stay here. She says it like she is doing me a favor and a threat. I try to joke because that is my defense whenever I panic. So this is officially a date now, not just friendly carbs. She arches one eyebrow and tilts her head like she dares me. You paid for my appetizer, that makes it a date, she says. I should have backed off at that line, honestly I know. I feel the warning bell, I hear it, I ignore it completely. Instead I lean closer across the table until our knees bump. Then I want my money's worth, I whisper, aiming for bold. She looks at my mouth, then at the room, then back again. There is the smallest pause, a tiny war behind her eyes. Then she moves first, fingers curling in my shirt, dragging me closer. My chair scrapes lightly, and every nerve in my body flares awake. We kiss again, longer this time, enough to blur the edges. I forget the room, forget the risk, forget my own last name. All I feel is her breathing against my face and her nails. Somewhere under all that, a little voice keeps yelling, this is dangerous. A server walks by and clears their throat and we both jump. Mia laughs too loudly, reaches for her drink like nothing happened here. I wipe my mouth with the back of my hand, smooth my shirt. My pulse stays loud in my ears like an alarm with no off. You are so red, she says, poking my cheek with one finger. Because I am not used to public crimes, I try to joke. She rolls her eyes, but her smile softens at the edges anyway. You are fine, relax, no one knows us here, she murmurs. She shifts her chair closer, scraping the leg along the floor. Now our shoulders touch, our knees press together under the table. I do not move away, which is its own decision and sin. If my sister saw this, she would never let either of us forget. I still cannot believe I am here with you, I say quietly. That comes out raw, more honest than I meant to be. Mia's expression flickers, like she hears the weight in it fully. Careful, Jake, she says, you are starting to sound serious. I swallow that down and try to pull my tone back up. Right, my bad, strictly fun, zero consequences, totally casual chaos. She snorts and bumps my shoulder with hers, amused despite everything. That is the spirit, she says, and squeezes my fingers again. I lift our joined hands and press a kiss to her knuckles. It feels old-fashioned, dramatic, way too much for a hidden fling. Her eyes widen a little, like she did not expect that move. For a second we just look at each other and everything tilts. Later, replaying this, I will notice every small chance to stop. The moment I could have cracked a joke and leaned back. The second I could have checked the room instead of her lips. All those tiny exits I walked right past without slowing down. Right now I just stand up halfway, leaning across the table again. Come here, I say, and my voice finally sounds sure. Her chair slides closer, she meets me in the middle without hesitation. Our mouths crash together and I forget to be careful at all. Someone gasps behind me, sharp enough to cut through the noise. Mia goes still under my hands, lips still touching mine. My spine locks and I turn my head over my shoulder. My sister stands there with her phone lifted like a weapon. The screen is pointed straight at us, camera already recording full chaos. Her mouth curls into a smile that does not reach her eyes. You two look busy, she says, tapping the screen with one thumb. Then she lifts her chin and drops one heavy word between us. Ethan. My sister slams a mug in front of me. Coffee splashes my hand and snaps me fully awake. She blocks the doorway like she expects me to run. I know that look, something unpleasant is about to land. You busy tonight, she d. O's not even shape it like a question. I wipe my hand on a towel and stall for time. Define busy, I mumble, already regretting the word choice. Her arms fold and her eyebrow climbs, waiting to pounce. You are free, she answers like she owns my schedule completely. Mia needs you to take her out somewhere low-key. The name hits harder than the hot coffee on my skin. I grip the counter edge to hide the way my fingers twitch. What do you mean take her out? I manage, voice a little thin. She has a boyfriend, remember, I have functioning memory. My sister tilts her head like I am being deliberately dense. He cannot show up, long story, so you are filling in. It sounds insane, even for her, even for our family. You want me to play substitute date for your best friend? My laugh comes out short and rough, not really amused. That sounds like a terrible plan with fireworks built in. She leans closer until we are almost nose to nose. I am not asking, she whispers, her nails tapping the counter. Ethan needs this to go smoothly, Mia needs backup, understood. The way she says his name tells me pushing back is dangerous. I have heard of him, sure, always at a safe distance. The guy who lives on Mia's phone and never at our table. The one she texts under it during movie nights, pretending she is fine. Now apparently I am being drafted into whatever they built together. I do not even know him, I argue, reaching for the mug. She taps the rim before I can drink and stares me down. You know me, and I promised I would help them out. Her jaw tightens like she hates every word coming from her own mouth. Why me, I ask, because I need at least one good reason. There are other guys, ones who do not live down the hall. She exhales hard and looks away like the answer annoys her. Because you are not a creep and Mia already trusts you. That line lands in my chest and sits there buzzing. I want to act unimpressed, shrug it off like nothing. Instead, my throat goes dry and my grip loosens on the handle. Trust is a heavy word to throw before breakfast like that. She sent rules, my sister adds, already pulling out her phone. No pictures, no tags, nothing that leaves a digital trace. She scrolls and squints like there is more she does not say. She will text you herself, just do not freak out on her. My phone vibrates on the counter like it heard its cue. I glance at the screen and see Mia's name lighting it up. My heart kicks faster and I pretend it is just the caffeine. Wow, fast, I mutter, though my sister is already walking away. I unlock the screen and her message fills the top bar. Tonight 7, somewhere casual, nothing flashy, no photos. Then a second one flashes in before I finish reading the first. Also, this is a favor for Ethan, so please do not bail. I stare at those lines and feel every word tighten around me. So this is not about me, not really, I am a prop. A moving part in someone else's careful little arrangement. It should make it easier, but somehow it just adds weight. My thumbs hover over the keyboard while my mind races. If I say no, I disappoint my sister and blindside Mia. If I say yes, I step straight into their mess by choice. Either way, I am the one who will be standing there later. Got it, I type, then erase the words because they feel weak. Sure, I can do that, I try next, then delete again. Finally I send, yeah, tell me where and when I am in. The message whooshes out before I can talk myself down. 3 dots pop up instantly, that little pulsing nerve on the screen. She replies with the name of the restaurant and the exact time. Another line follows before I can picture the place in my head. And remember, nothing public online, Ethan is already stressed enough. I almost ask stressed about what, because that part hooks me hard. Instead I set the phone down and rub my eyes with my palm. If I push for details, I risk sounding nosy and jealous. If I stay quiet, I walk in blind later and hope I float. Across the room, my sister's voice carries from the hallway. Wear something decent, not your usual lazy disaster outfit. I roll my eyes even though she cannot see me. I will manage to look human, I answer, louder than necessary. In my room, I pull one shirt over my head, then another. Each time I catch my reflection and rip it off again. Everything looks either too formal or like I never left the couch. I keep changing while the clock crawls, every swap tightening my chest. I stop in front of the mirror and plant my hands on the dresser. Part of me wants to text and invent some emergency right now. One sentence and I could stay home, avoid whatever they planned. I watch my own face and know I am not going to do it. Another buzz hits the mattress beside me, dragging my eyes down. Mia again, bring your car, she writes, I need a ride home. That single line closes the door on any fake excuse. When someone asks you for a safe ride, you show up. I shove the last shirt on and grab my keys from the nightstand. In the hallway, my sister leans against the wall, arms folded tight. Her gaze sweeps from my shoes to my face, judging everything. If you mess this up, Jake, you mess it up for them. The word them hangs there longer than anything else in that sentence. I nod once because anything more will show how nervous I am. She reaches out and straightens my collar with quick, precise fingers. Remember, you are background tonight, she reminds me, then let's go. On the way to the door, my phone buzzes one more time. Mia again, thanks for doing this, you are saving us tonight. Us, not me, plural, another reminder that I am stepping into a unit. I close my fingers tighter around the handle and walk out anyway. Mia jerks her hand out of mine and clips my wrist. Her glass tilts, liquid sloshes, almost pouring into my lap. I grab it on instinct and nearly knock my own over. Across from us, my sister's phone stays aimed straight at our faces. I almost forget how to breathe when I see the red timer. She is already recording, thumb resting just under the screen edge. Cute, she says, voice light in a way that never means good. Want me to send this to him, or do you prefer live? Mia pushes her chair back so hard it bumps the wall. Stop it, she snaps, fingers trembling around the back of the seat. This is not funny, put the phone down right now. My sister tilts her head like she is studying an interesting animal. You know who just texted? My sister asks, eyebrows jumping, eyes bright. She glances at her screen, then back at us, enjoying every second. He wanted an update on tonight, so congratulations, you just gave one. Her thumb moves and my chest tightens like someone pulled a cord. I reach across the table and grab for the phone anyway. She steps back fast, chair scraping, the camera swinging with me inside it. Relax, she says, finally lowering the device a few inches. It is already in the group chat, you are late to your own scandal. My pocket starts vibrating before the words fully land in my head. Once, twice, then nonstop, a constant buzzing against my leg. Mia's phone lights up on the table, screen flooding with alerts. Her expression drains in real time as each notification stacks on another. She snatches her phone and unlocks it with a sharp swipe. I lean over without thinking and catch a glimpse of the thread. Our family chat, her family chat, something labeled wedding planning at the top. The video preview shows my hand on her face, crystal clear. Out, Mia orders, grabbing my arm and dragging me to standing. Her chair bangs into the table behind us, a couple stares and whispers. My sister just watches, lips pressed together, clearly pleased with herself. You wanted real, you got real, she adds right as we pass. I do not remember signing the check or thanking the server. 1 second I am under those bright overhead lights, everyone staring. The next, a blast of evening air hits my face like punishment. Mia keeps walking until we reach the edge of the parking lot. She spins on me so fast, I nearly collide with her shoulder. What part of low profile sounded like tongue wrestling in public, she demands. Her hand shoves my chest, not hard enough to hurt, enough to sting. I open my mouth, but the noise from her phone cuts through. Her ringtone slices the tension, loud and insistent between us. She looks down, freezes, and her fingers clamp around the device. The name on the screen glows big enough for both of us. Ethan, calling, like he has been waiting for this exact disaster. My brain yells, say you lost it, let it ring, just ignore him. My mouth stays shut, and I watch her thumb hover over accept. She drags in a breath that sounds like she is swallowing glass. Then she answers and lifts the phone halfway between us. What the hell was that video? His voice explodes through the speaker. It is sharp, fast, controlled in that way anger sometimes is. Are you seriously making out with someone at dinner right now? Each word hits like a separate slap while we stand in the lot. Mia flinches, but her jaw locks and she does not step back. Calm down, she starts, a little too steady for the moment. This got out of hand, we will handle it, just breathe. Silence follows, heavy, full of static and unsaid things. Handle it how? He finally throws back, something slamming in the background. My parents just watched that clip from your sister, by the way. I feel my stomach twist at the thought of that unseen audience. They are already asking why my fiancé is lip-locked with some random guy. The word fiancé lands like a punch I did not brace for. My brain trips over it, rewinds, plays it again, louder each time. I look at Mia and she refuses to look at me at all. Suddenly, I am standing in a story I did not know the genre of. We knew things could slip, he tells him, pacing tight circles near me. We always knew people would watch, that was the whole objective. This does not change what you and I actually decided, she insists. My heart hammers harder, because none of those decisions included me. It changes everything, he fires back, voice lowering, somehow scarier like that. They think you cheated on me before the engagement party even happened. They think I am a fool and you look reckless in front of them. I told you we needed control, you promised me control. Mia stops moving and presses her free hand to her forehead. I promised to cover you, not become a nun in the process. Tonight was supposed to be quiet, a simple dinner, that is it. Her gaze flicks to me for the first time, sharp and accusing. Is he there with you? Ethan asks, quieter now, breath coming uneven. Is that him, the guy from the video, is he listening? I almost step back, like distance could make this less direct. She holds the phone slightly higher, then drops her hand again. Yes, he is right here, she answers, tone flat and exhausted. He was helping us out tonight and I let it go too far. Her fingers flex at her side, nails biting into her palm. For the record, the kissing was my idea, not his. That does not matter, Ethan cuts in, not letting her finish. They saw his face, they saw yours, they are already filling blanks. I can hear my mother talking in the other room about loyalty. She keeps using that word like she owns it, like it is hers. Guilt crawls up my throat, thick and sour, and I finally speak. Look, I am sorry, I did not realize there were stakes like this. My voice sounds smaller than it did inside the restaurant booth. This was supposed to be a favor, I screwed up that favor. For a second I think he might answer me calmly, maybe even accept it. Instead there is a hard laugh, humorless, more of a bark than anything. A favor, he repeats, every syllable cutting deeper than the last. I trusted you two to keep the story straight, not improvise. Mia squeezes her eyes shut and leans back against the nearest car. This arrangement was always pretend, she says, choosing each word carefully. You know that, I know that, we both signed up for pretend. But they think it is real, and that is where the problem lives. On the other end, the quiet stretches long enough to hurt. When he speaks again, his voice has lost that first sharp edge. We built this fake thing to protect me and get them off you. Now they are doubting both, and they have your brother's face saved to their phones. Hearing him call me that, like the role explains everything, makes my skin crawl. My hands feel useless, just hanging there while the damage spreads. Mia looks like she wants to be anywhere but next to me. I finally understand that I have walked straight into someone else's battlefield. We will fix it, Mia insists, though even she sounds unsure now. I will talk to them, you will talk to them, we will regroup. Her knuckles are white around the phone, like she might snap it. Do not do anything drastic before we actually speak in person. You already did something drastic, he replies, voice suddenly tired, worn down. You blew up the illusion in front of the one audience that mattered. I have cousins texting screenshots, Mia, they are making jokes, they think this is drama. For me, it is not cute drama, it is my life on the line. That line sinks into the air between the three of us. For the first time, I hear fear under his frustration instead of pure rage. Not theater fear, not exaggerated, just real and low and heavy. That is the moment I realize this was never just awkward romance. I am coming over tomorrow, he finishes, no room for argument anywhere. We need to rewrite the plan or end it completely, no halfway. The call cuts out with a flat beep before either of us answers. The sudden silence around us feels louder than his yelling ever did. Mia stares at the dark screen like it might light up again. Her shoulders rise and fall once, twice, then she drags in air. When she finally looks at me, her eyes are bright and furious. "You did not just third wheel my knight," she says, voice shaking. "You just smashed the whole fake relationship he has been hiding for years." I fumble my keys so hard one drops between the seats. That is my brain right there, stuck where I cannot reach it. Mia waits beside the car with her arms locked over her chest. "I am not getting in until you stop shaking," she mutters, still furious. "I am fine," I lie, even my voice proves the opposite instantly. I yank the door open anyway and slide behind the wheel fast. The engine turns over on the second try, which feels symbolic somehow. She climbs in without looking at me and slams her door hard. "Drive," she says, staring straight ahead like the road insulted her. "Anywhere that is not this parking lot before someone LSE shows up." I pull out too quickly and my tire bumps the curb on the way. She grabs the handle near her head and huffs under her breath. Her phone lights again in her lap, buzzing non-stop against her leg. She refuses to answer, but her eyes keep dropping to the screen. Every new alert flashes another preview of some group conversation exploding. Even from the driver's side, I can see my own face paused mid-kiss. "Turn off the sound," I say, because the buzzing is eating my nerves. She flips the switch with a tight little movement, jaw clenched hard. The silence that follows is worse because I still feel it tremble. I want to apologize again, but I also want to defend myself. "You did not tell me you were engaged," I finally push out. The word feels strange in my mouth, like it belongs to strangers. "You said this was helping him, not some whole fake story." My hands tighten on the steering wheel until my knuckles ache. She drags a palm over her face, leaving a faint streak of makeup. "I did not think I had to spell the whole thing," she answers. "You were a stand-in, Jake, you were filling a chair." Her voice cracks a little on the last word and it hits me. "So I was just a warm body they could point at?" I ask. The bitter part of me jumps in before I can quiet it down. Good to know I excel at existing in the background now. I bite the inside of my cheek hard enough to taste metal. She turns then, finally really looking at me in the dim cabin. "You think this feels good for me?" she asks, eyes sharp and wet. "You think I enjoy dragging other people into this circus show?" Her fingers tap against her thigh like she is counting seconds. I do not answer because anything I say will sound selfish. We ride in weighted silence for a few blocks while I think. Every traffic light feels like a judgment, every stop a little trial. I keep replaying Ethan's voice, the part where he said life. "Pull over," she says suddenly, spotting an open stretch near a closed store. I ease the car to the curb and shift into park with a click. She exhales roughly, pulls her phone up and scrolls without blinking. "Look," she adds, turning the screen so I cannot avoid it. Messages flood the group chat, stacked one after another in quick bursts. I read phrases like cheating and embarrassment and how could she. My own image appears again in a forwarded clip, mouth pressed to hers. A caption underneath asks if I am some secret boyfriend no one mentioned. "That is his aunt," Mir explains, tapping one specific bubble with her thumb. She is already rewriting the story and my parents listen to her constantly. Another message shows up while we watch, accusing her of humiliating Ethan publicly. No one mentions how fake this whole thing actually is, not once. "This was supposed to protect him," she says quietly, almost more to herself. "Fake connection, fake progress, real peace for once in his house." She shakes her head and laughs without humor, a short broken sound. Instead, they finally got proof that their perfect girl is a disaster. The word perfect makes me snort before I can stop myself. "You realize you are not the only one holding something," I say. "You have been lying to them, he has too, and now I am included." It comes out harsher than I planned, sharp enough to sting both of us. Her eyes flash and she straightens in her seat like I shoved her. "He has more to lose than you can imagine from that room," she replies. "His parents only tolerate what fits into their neat little picture. They think this fake engagement is making him finally normal and settled." I feel something drop in my chest at the word normal, heavy and ugly. "So what happens now that they watched him get publicly humiliated online?" I ask. "What do parents like that do when the mask slips in front of relatives?" I already know the answer is nothing gentle, nothing soft, nothing understanding. She does not answer for a second, just stares at the windshield with tight shoulders. They double down, she says eventually, almost whispering, voice fraying at the edges. They start throwing words like ungrateful and shameful and threat to the family. Her knuckles drum against the door panel, each tap sharper than the last. My guilt mixes with this new anger that has nowhere to go. Why did you not tell me any of this before tonight? I ask quietly. If you had just said the stakes, I would have stayed away completely. I would not have touched you, not even as a joke. She lets out a long, uneven breath, then laughs once, low and tired. Yeah, right, she mutters, eyebrow lifting, mouth twisting into a crooked shape. You have wanted to kiss me since sophomore year, do not pretend otherwise. The way she says it makes my ears burn and my chest tighten again. She is not wrong, and that is the annoying part of all this. I wanted this night for me, not for some imaginary fiancé. I dressed up for her opinion, not for some nervous stranger at home. That selfish root of everything sits there, ugly and honest, throbbing. So what now? I ask, pushing past my pride because it feels useless. What do you need me to say when people start asking questions? I lean back against the headrest and stare at the dark dashboard. The question tastes like surrender, and maybe that is what it is. Her phone buzzes in her hand again, this time a direct message. Ethan, the preview shows only 3 words, we need strategy. She opens it and skims fast, lips moving as she reads silently. He wants to lean into it, she finally announces, sounding stunned. I blink at her, convinced I misheard that last sentence completely. Lean into what exactly? I ask, turning fully in my seat toward her. The footage of us, the scandal, the whole circus that just erupted. My voice climbs without permission, and I have to force it lower. She scrolls further and then tilts the screen so I can see. His messages come quick, stacked, each one more intense than the last. If they already think you cheated, he wrote, we might as well redirect. Tell them he came on to you, tell them you pushed him away. My stomach flips because I can see where this is heading instantly. He wants me to be the problem, I say, more stunned than angry. The random guy who could not keep his hands to himself at dinner. My mouth goes dry, and I dig my nails into my palm to focus. He wants you to be the temptation, not the partner, she corrects. He thinks if you are the one at fault, they will protect him. He becomes the loyal one who got ambushed, not the liar who played along. She rubs her forehead again like the conversation is physically pounding inside it. Let me get this straight, I say, needing to hear it out loud. I play creep for his parents, my family sees that, everyone believes it. You walk away as the guilty almost cheater, he walks away as wounded hero. The math is simple, and somehow I am the only one failing here. Her head whips toward me, and there is exhaustion in her eyes now. You think I like any version of this? She asks, voice rough and quiet. I either become the villain or the girl who broke her engagement. In both stories, my parents lose the daughter they brag about nonstop. I sink back, and for a second all I hear is my own pulse. It is stupid, but I keep circling the idea of fairness like it matters. Nothing about this night started fair though, not from the moment I agreed. I was always walking into someone else's script, I just improvised wrong. Okay, I say finally, forcing air through tight lungs, what is plan B then? If we do not throw me under the bus, what else is there? We cannot pretend they imagined that video or edited it themselves. Every path in my head loops back to that stupid clip on repeat. Her thumbs hover over the keyboard as she thinks, eyes narrowed in concentration. We say the truth, just not the whole version of it, she answers. We admit we kissed, we call it a mistake, we say it ends there. We do not mention how long I have been lying to them with him. That still leaves me as the guy who crossed a line tonight, I point out. At best I am the fling that blew up a fake engagement accidentally. At worst I am the reason they dig deeper into his life and suspect more. It feels like picking between stepping on glass or stepping on nails. She drops her phone in her lap and meets my eyes again. You want a clean exit after what just happened? She asks softly. There is no option where you walk away shiny and untouched now. You are in it with us, whether you like it or not. That hits harder than any insult she could throw in my face. She is right, even if my ego wants to keep arguing forever. I chose to show up tonight, chose to lean across that table. I wanted my own moment and I got fallout instead. Tomorrow, she continues, voice steadier now, he is coming over to talk. You will be there and you will tell the same version I tell. We keep the fake engagement alive long enough to calm everyone down. After that, we figure out how to end it without burning everything. I picture Ethan in our living room, my sister watching from the doorway. My parents somewhere down the hall, listening for any raised voices. Mia sitting between us like a fuse, waiting for someone to light it. I already know I will say yes before the words leave her mouth. Say it, she presses, not letting me hide behind silence anymore. If you are with us, say it now, so I know you will not fold. Her hand reaches out, fingers hovering in the space between our seats. It is almost another invitation, but this time there is nothing romantic attached. I am in, I answer, my voice coming out low and solid. I will back your story, I will face them with you both tomorrow. The promise settles heavy in my chest, half shield and half trap. There is no walking this back once. Ethan walks through our front door. Ethan shows up 10 minutes early, and my sister blocks the door. She stands there like a bouncer, one hand on the knob. You two breathe first, she orders, eyes flicking between us. Mia brushes past anyway and pulls Ethan straight into the hallway. He smells like he sprinted here, chest moving fast under his jacket. His gaze lands on me and does not move for a solid beat. So this is the guy I helped throw into the fire. Where do we talk, he asks, voice low but already wired. We end up in the front room because there is nowhere else. Mia drops onto the edge of the couch, knees bouncing hard. Ethan stays standing, arms folded tight across his chest. I sit in the chair opposite them, hands locked together. Here is the version we agreed on, Mia starts, words quick. We admit the kiss, we call it a mistake, we say stop. We tell them the engagement still stands, we blame stress and confusion. She looks between us like the decision is already locked in. Ethan's jaw flexes while she talks, but he does not jump in. He watches me instead, like he is waiting for my move. When exactly did it start, he asks, finally cutting through the air. Was it just that dinner, or has this been going on longer? My throat tightens, but hiding now would only make it worse. It started when we sat down, I answer, forcing myself not to glance away. I knew I liked her before that, but nothing happened until last night. I feel Mia's stare burn the side of my face anyway. He nods once, like he expected that answer and still hates it. You knew she was supposed to be with me in front of them. You still leaned in a crowded place with phones everywhere. Each statement lands more like a verdict than a question. I knew she was pretending, I shoot back, voice sharper than intended. I did not understand what it cost you if that story cracked. I thought I was risking my sister's temper, not your entire security. It sounds weak out loud, but it is the truth I had. Ethan laughs once, no humor, just air pushed through gritted teeth. They are talking about moving the ceremony up, you realize that. Faster date, more guests, bigger spectacle to prove nothing is wrong. I spent all morning listening to my dad call this a test. That word makes my skin crawl, like I am suddenly 12 again. A test of what, I ask, although I already know the category. Of loyalty, of character, of whether you can handle real commitment. He stares at the floor like the wood might answer for him. They think I passed if I keep you, he says, pointing at Mia briefly. They think you failed if you walk away after one slip. They think I am strong if I forgive, weak if I question anything. He rubs his thumb over his knuckles, fast and restless. So we keep going, Mia pushes, leaning forward, eyes bright and desperate. We play along a little longer, we let this cool down. Once everyone calms, we quietly back out and blame timing, nothing else. Her fingers twist together like she is trying to hold herself in place. Ethan looks at her and something in his face just cracks. I cannot keep inventing fake feelings to survive my own living room. I thought I could, I really believed I could hold it together. Then I watch them replay that clip and call you property. That last word hangs there, nasty and heavy, making my stomach flip. Mia flinches, shoulders curling slightly, like it hit a familiar bruise. They kept freezing the frame, he continues, voice dropping even lower. Pointing at his face, asking what kind of man tries something like that. My cheeks burn not from embarrassment, from a different kind of anger. So now I am the threat you two need distance from, I say. Useful enough to cover your story, expendable enough to label dangerous. The bitterness slips out before I can shove it down. Mia snaps her attention to me with a sharp glare. That is not what this is, she fires back, hands slicing the air. You stepped into a mess that was already choking both of us. Stop acting like we created a nightmare just to ruin your night. She is right, but I am not ready to hear it cleanly yet. My ego still wants revenge, even while my guilt chews at me. I still have to live with being the guy in that video, I mutter. Your relatives are passing my face around like a cautionary meme. Ethan sinks onto the far end of the couch, shoulders sagging suddenly. This was never supposed to last this long, he says, staring at his hands. It started as a quick cover, a few months, maybe 1 year. Somewhere along the line, they started planning honeymoon routes. There it is, the part that makes my earlier crush look tiny. I wanted a thrilling evening, he wanted a shield from his own house. Standing next to that, my problems look embarrassingly small. It does not make the guilt lighter, it just refocuses it. So what are you going to do, I as? Kay cutting through the spiral. Not what your parents want, not what mine expect, what you want. I hear how corny that sounds, but I push it out anyway. He glances up, surprised, like no one has asked him that directly. For once, I think I am done lying to their faces, he answers. I am tired of rehearsing fake proposals and pretending I enjoy their jokes. I am tired of them praising me for feelings I do not have. He scrubs a hand over his mouth, then drops it with a sigh. Mia jolts upright like he just kicked her chair out. You walk in and tell them everything, they will destroy me too. They will say I ruined you, that I dragged you into something sinful. They will cut me off before I finish explaining why we started. He looks at her for a long, slow moment, and her leg stops bouncing. I know, he says, and his voice shakes a little on that word. That is the part I hate most, they turn you into the villain. They would rather believe in a corrupting influence than their own child. For a second, nobody talks, and the silence feels like a cliff edge. I can either back away or step forward with them, that is it. I think about how easy it would be to say not my problem. Easy and cowardly, and something past me might have done. I will say my part, I hear myself announce, surprising even me. I will tell them I kissed you because I wanted to, period. I will tell them you pulled away and you were trying to fix it. If someone needs to be the bad decision, let it be me. Mia's head snaps toward me like she misheard, eyes wide and glossy. That sticks, she warns, voice thin, people remember that stuff forever. You let them brand you that way, it does not wash off later. Her hands clutch the couch cushion, pulling the fabric tight. Maybe I deserve a little permanent reminder, I answer, forcing a smile. I ignored every warning you gave me, every boundary, every rule you wrote. I treated your arrangement like a challenge instead of a survival tactic. Screw it, I can live with being the jerk who kissed you once. Ethan studies my face like he is trying to see if I am bluffing. This could still blow back on me, he says, not sugarcoating it at all. They might dig deeper, start asking why I did not walk away earlier. But at least that conversation starts closer to the actual truth. Actual truth, that phrase hits me harder than any insult tonight. I realize how little of it we have used since this started. Mostly we have shuffled half sentences and careful phrasing around people's triggers. Maybe that is all lying really is, just constant editing for comfort. My sister appears in the doorway then, leaning on the frame, arms folded. I heard enough, she says, and her voice carries that tired older sibling tone. You three built a whole soap opera and forgot you were real people. She looks straight at me, you especially forgot genius. I expect another lecture, but she focuses on Ethan instead. If you tell them you are not doing it alone, she states. My parents already know something is weird, you may as well use that. They listen to me more than they should, I can push back. He blinks, thrown off by the unexpected backup from our side. You would risk that, he asks, pointing between her and our hallway. You let them believe this whole fantasy too, they will blame you. She shrugs, jaw set, like she decided this hours ago. They already blame me for your video, she replies, lips twisting briefly. Might as well graduate to a bigger accusation, get my money's worth. She moves into the room and drops beside Mia, shoulder touching shoulder. Besides, I am done acting like their approval is rent I owe. Something shifts then, subtle but solid, like the room tilts back upright. For the first time all day, it feels like everyone is on one side. Not parents versus kids, not engaged versus outsider, just us against the fallout. I do not say that out loud, but I feel it settle anyway. We spend the next hour building the least fake story we can. We keep the part where the engagement announcement was pressure, not joy. We add the part where Ethan panicked and agreed because he was scared. We decide there will be no more pretending after tonight, no extensions. Later, after he leaves to face his home, the house feels strange. My sister disappears to her room, door closing with a soft, determined click. Mia stays on the couch, staring at the blank television screen. I sit on the floor in front of the coffee table, exhausted. When this is over, they will not invite me to dinner again, she says. They will find a way to make me the root of every problem. They will tell that version at every holiday until they forget my laugh. Her voice stays steady, which somehow makes the words hit harder. You still want to move out? I ask, remembering the late-night text earlier. She nods, eyes still fixed on nothing, fingers tracing pattern. S on her knee. If I stay under their roof, they keep pretending I belong to them. If I leave, at least the judgment comes from across town, not upstairs. Days later, I watch it all play out from the edge of things. Our parents cancel the celebration dinner with one stiff conference call. Her parents send a long message about disappointment and poor decisions. Ethan's family goes quiet online, which somehow feels louder than yelling. Mia packs her life into boxes and bags without ceremony. She refuses help at first, then lets me carry the heavier stuff. We load the trunk while my sister pretends not to cry on the porch. Nobody says the word engagement, like avoiding it might erase the whole episode. Ethan does not come by that day, but he texts both of us. Told them everything, he writes, short and shaky, not his usual style. They are angry, but they know, and I am still here. Mia shows me the screen, and for once she looks genuinely relieved. Outside her new building, she leans against my car before heading inside. So this disaster you triggered, she says, kicking at a crack in the pavement. It forced him to stop hiding, and it forced me to move out. Her eyes flick up to mine. You really do not do halfway, do you? That is one way to spin complete chaos, I answer, trying to joke. The smile does not quite reach my eyes, but it is something. I am still the guy who made out with his friend's fiancée on camera. I huff out a breath, that part never stops being trashy. She studies me for a moment, like she is evaluating a puzzle piece. I do not fully trust you yet, she says, blunt as always. You say you will take the heat, but we both know talk is cheap. I need to watch what you do next, not just hear promises. That stings mostly because she is right and I know it. I wanted to be the hero in this, just a little. Instead, I am stuck as the idiot who pushed everything over early. Maybe that is the only role I actually earned. I open my mouth to argue, then close it again and nod. I will show you, I say quietly, hands shoved into my pockets. Not with big gestures, just by not screwing you over again. Low bar, I know, but it is a start. She steps closer, close enough that I feel the warmth of her. For a second I think she might kiss me again, that same pull. Instead she hooks a finger in my shirt and tugs once. Try not to blow up any more protective lies, she murmurs, half teasing. Watching her walk inside, I feel that familiar ache in my chest. The crush is still there, but now it carries context and consequences. I cannot pretend I am some romantic lead in a movie anymore. I am the guy who cracked their shield and forced the truth out early.